Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about the month of March and trying to see like what things went well in March, what things went poorly in March, and then we'll transition over into April and kind of set our plans for April, even though technically we are like halfway through April already. So it won't necessarily be me setting our plan for April, but more so just explaining to you guys what we're currently doing and the results of that so far, basically. Now, right now, I'm talking to you guys over here on my phone, but you'll see me looking this way because my microphone on my computer isn't working. So I'm going to need to like splice these two videos together, and hopefully this works out. But if it does, great, and we can go from there. But let's get our screen share going, and I forgot to introduce myself. By the way, my name is Isaiah. I'm a six-figure shoe seller. My wife and I, we decided to create this series in order to document our journey as we ascend a ladder towards financial freedom. And every week we like to sit down and talk about our business and expenses to make sure that we are indeed on the path that we're looking to be on. But let's get started with the screen share. All right, so last month, from March 1st to March 31st, we did $16,799 in sales. The quantity sold was 723 items, giving us an average sales price of $23.24, which means that I'm still one of the like lowest ASP shoe sellers out there, unfortunately. Like I am the king of cheap shoes, unfortunately. One day I might join the illustrious club of shoe sellers who sell things for $30, $40, $50 a pair. But as of right now, I still suck. I guess I don't suck. I just sell in a different market than they do, I guess. But our net sales was $9,102.05. So that's basically our cash flows, that's how I like to describe the term. Basically just means the amount that eBay paid us. And our goal was to do $7,000, and we were able to do $9,100 last month, which is pretty good for us. I think that I want to get this number to 10,000 eventually. I would love to be able to do that in the month of April, but I just won't know for sure until I see kind of more how things play out. Maybe sales fall a bunch in the second half of April, and I'm not on track to do 10,000. But I would love to have that number at 10,000 because if our necessary expenses are 7,000, then we might have the ability to save around $3,000 a month, which would be really good, and that will like complete a monthly emergency fund for us too, which is really good. So let's go over to this sheet. One thing that I noticed when I was looking at our sheet, when you look at our average cash flow per month, in January, it was like 5,600 or so, 5,700. In February, we did like 7,600. And then in March, we did like 9,100. So like every month we're increasing by around like 2,000 or so. So it'd be really beautiful. And if in April we could do around like 11,200 or something of the sort. I don't know if that's actually possible. It really depends on our output and how things go again. But I would love to be able to do that. So we're going to look at our March targets real quick. Our sales target was 13.3. We wanted to do $13,392, and we did 16.7. We wanted to sell on average 18 items a day, and we sold 23 items a day. And the only thing that I saw here that was weird, and we missed these goals, was our average listed was supposed to be 25 a day, which I don't know why I would set that goal. What I think happened was when I set my March targets, I hadn't lost my supplier yet. So once I lost my supplier, doing 25 a day just wasn't as feasible because my cost of goods went up substantially. I went from, $4-ish a pair to around $8, $9, $10 a pair. So I dropped my listing goal to about 15 items a day for most of the month. And honestly, I didn't see a significant effect in my sales. I was selling about, like I said, my goal was to sell 18 a day, and I sold 23. So, and we listed on average about 17.83 items. And I also think in March, I had my like clothing stint where I was like, hey, maybe we're going to be a clothing seller. And that ain't the move. Like, I'm not doing that again. But our total listed was 553 items out of 775. And I think the biggest things that I needed to do in March was just like get more control of my inputs. So like in control of how many listings I'm putting up per day in the store, in control of the types of items that I was listing. I made sure that I learned a bunch of stuff. I learned how the like what determines the difference between a pair that sells for $15 or $20 compared to a pair that sells for $25 to $30. And the big thing for that was condition. The midfoot and heel tread wear, things like tears on the interior, upper discoloration, things of that sort, like significant midsole discoloration or scuffing, those significant wear points were causing shoes to no longer be worth $30, $35, $40 like the other shoe sellers are selling them for, and instead be worth like $15 to $20 like I was selling them for. And I pivoted away from that because I had that $8 to $9 buy cost. But recently when I bought that store last week, week before last week, I just bought the shoes that were in the store. But I got a bunch of shoes that are not nearly as cool, and those are likely going to tank my ASP a good bit and kind of pull me away from the thing that I was just working on. But we'll see how that shakes out in April. If we can maintain that same $23 ASP in April that we had in March, then I'm okay with it. But it's not like the best thing in the world, because I ideally should be working towards having a $25, $28, $30, $35, $40 ASP so that each time I sell a pair, I am getting a massive bang for my buck rather than just like a small firecracker or whatever. All right, let's look at April targets. Nina said last time that my targets for March were garbage. She hated them. Oh, she didn't say that. What she actually said, to be fair to Nina, was that I'm sorry, I was looking at a sale coming through and I didn't know what it was. She said to me that my targets were too low based upon my sales in February, because I said like a $13,000 target despite doing $15K in sales, which is true. But I was like, hey, Nina, we don't know if February was a fluke. We don't know if we'll be able to do it again in March. I might have just got lucky. Maybe I sold all my good items. Who knows? And fortunately, it ended up working out. So I think we set a target for April of $17,000 in sales, which would be an average of 25 items sold roughly if I maintain the $23 ASP. The total sold in that case would be 739 items, and I would have to be listing 25 items a day on average in order for this to really work out, because otherwise my store would be shrinking by 5 items a day, and due to that I would end the month with 150 fewer items than I had when I started the month, which would make it hard to hit my goals for May. So we want to make sure that we are listing at minimum 25 items a day, but my actual listing goal is 20 items a day. So I will either land in a place where my store is somewhere between 150 items smaller and 0, depending on how close I can get to these 25 listings per day. And then that will give us a total listed of 750 items. And then also you got like inventory and things like that. And I don't want to like commit to 25 listings a day when like I'm pretty sure that the number that I'll be hovering around might be closer to 20 or so, since that's my base listing goal. Now, that's everything on this sheet. Let me stop screen sharing and talk to you guys just a little bit. So, I don't know, guys. I think the month of March was good for us. I think us being able to hit 9,000, which is close to the highest that we've ever done when it comes to the amount received from eBay, is really, really good. I just think we need to continue leaning into the things that got us to the dance. So avoiding, clothing as much as we can. Like, I have a bunch of clothing upstairs that I still haven't monetized because I'm starting to find that it may not be worth it to monetize 100% of the things that you have. Like, I used to believe that if you spent money on something, you needed to get the money out of that thing as soon as possible. But it might be better if you have the cash flow and the inventory to work on the things that you are good at, and then like we're kind of like putting off everything else. Like, because we could go put all that clothing in lots and stuff, but we're not doing that because like, why do that when we can just be processing more shoes? And like, we would do that and make $20, $25, which is good, and we have the time to do it for sure. It's just, I would rather pour that time into doing my shoe work and then going like spend time with my family or something like that. So the aim is to eventually pull those, sorry, I was looking at the notification again. The goal is to eventually pull those clothing together and make lots for them and get those sold, get those moved out. But I think our primary focus right now needs to be getting everything that we normally sell into the store, get as many of those as possible into the store, and then from there maybe we start monetizing some of that other stuff if it becomes worth it for us. Because when I think about it, should I spend an extra hour, 2 hours, 3 hours a day working on that stuff? Or could I put that extra hour, 2 hours, 3 hours into more shoes? Because 3 hours of shoes would be an extra 20, 30 listings in that day. And that extra 20, 30 listings would make me way more money than the amount of money I'd get from processing 3, 4, 5 lots. The only thing that I get back from doing the lots would be me getting space, but they're like neatly packed up. So I just need to pull them out of boxes and actually process them. So I think as long as we're focused on doing our output on this side, I think our sales numbers will continue to increase. I don't see much of a benefit besides the space, which is important, of course, for trying to get this clothing listed right now. So our main focus in April is just making sure that we're hitting our output numbers that we want to. Our output numbers that we're aiming for is actually higher than 20. We want to ideally do about like 40 a day, 45 a day since we just bought the store. But that's not like the most consistent thing. So we're working towards it, because a couple of weeks ago, 3-4 weeks ago, we were doing 15 a day. So to jump from 15 a day to 40 a day is indeed like a shell shock. It's difficult to pull off. So we need a bit of time to like adjust to the new schedule and make sure that we can hit. When I say we, I'm just talking about my wife and I, by the way, and make sure that we're able to do that 40 consistently. Yeah, I think that's it though. We're kind of testing out some new processes, seeing if we can like standardize some of our cleaning processes as well as with photos and listings. I want to buy Mariah a computer so that like if we have the ability to, we can list at the same time, which might even be able to increase our output above 40, 50 a day. I know that if we ever want to do more than that, it's likely that she'll need a computer too. So that'll be another thing that we're working on right now. But honestly, guys, the way how we got here was just once I identified that shoes sell for higher when they're in excellent condition, basically, which is obvious. And which flaws specifically were eliminating that was lowering the price on my shoes. I just started buying shoes for $7 to $9 a pair, and then aiming to sell them at minimum for around 30 to 35, and I was able to make a relatively good profit margin on that. I think at $30, you at $7 per pair, you're probably making, let me see. Okay, so sold price 30. Let's say you bought it for 7. You'd make $18 profit with my shipping costs. If you charge $9.99 for shipping, then it'd be $21 profit, just because of how cheap shipping is now for shoes if you bought for 7. So going 7 into 30 every time, you're getting $22 profit, not selling promoted. Like that's beautiful. And that's what we were just focusing on, looking for shoes that didn't have significant midfoot or heel tread wear. No interior tears. Interior discoloration would be a no-no too. Upper discoloration will be something that you would try to avoid if you can, especially if the shoe is made out of like a mesh material or something of the sort. And then just ensuring that the pairs that you're picking up are actually worth their price. Most Vans and Converse are more difficult to sell at the $30 price point. Can it happen? Yes, but they just weren't selling with the speed that I was looking for. So I was trying to focus in on, honestly, a lot of Hokas, On Clouds, certain types of Asics. New Balances do really well for me when I want the $30, $35, especially if they're wide. And then like our traditional Nike sneakers that are meant for running and stuff like that, we were able to get like $25 to $35 for a lot of those. And then you have like your more fashion style shoes, like your Vapor Maxes are not fashion style shoes. That's not what I'm trying to say. Like your fashion style shoes like Jordans and things of that nature, those would also usually lend that price point. We're also doing pretty well with hiking shoes and barefoot shoes, so, or like minimalist shoes. So a bunch of different like places for you guys to go when it comes to trying to get that $30 price point for your shoes. Maybe I should make a video about like how to do that, but I kind of just explained it just then. So yeah, it's not much more than what I said. It's literally fine shoes are in pretty good condition. Most shoes that are in good condition of a name brand tend to sell for $30, as long as they're not like some weird size or something of the sort. And also, that's a much greater degree for men's shoes in good condition. They tend to be pretty easy to sell for that $30 price point. So, really appreciate y'all. Hopefully, it provides some value to you. And we'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.